Just completed without agency or getting met. I would guess, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll call the session of the Portsmouth School Board of Directors is February 3rd, 2025. And as always, we will start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do you mind reading the mission statement?
Sure. Our mission to graduate all students with high levels of academic and personal achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence, prepared for productive and happy citizenship through research-based instruction and collaborative system of support.
Thank you. Changes or additions to the agenda? Introduction of our audience. Hi, Caitlin. I assume you're our student rep tonight?
I am.
Awesome, glad you're here. For individuals who are on site during this portion of the board meeting, members of the public are specifically invited to present items of commendation and or concerns. At the discretion of the board chair, further public participation may be allowed at the time specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. This is not district policy BDDH. For those viewing online, the school district posts the upcoming agenda on our website, pleasanthill.k12.or.us, the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow for public comment prior to the board meeting. Please click on the tab provided to share your comments with the school board to consider at the upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personal concerns or commendations should share them directly with the district superintendent, Jim Chris. Will be yours. And set the agenda unless you have something outside of your presentation to share with the board. Brings us to 5.0 presentations recognition, 5.1 students of the month, most improved students of the month. You got him. Yeah.
So, congratulations to high school students of the month, this is for December, January month. Ninth grade, student of the month. Ninth grade is Katie Johnson. 10th grade, Benaya Carrera. 11th grade, Dalia LaRoche. And then our students of the month. For ninth grade, boys grade. 10th grade, Jasper Bruni. 12th grade, Aaron McAllister. And our student of the month was Charlotte Key.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Is that just for the high school, we have it in for middle school.
Yes, it's just for the high school.
That's very good.
All right. 5.2 high school student representative report. You're up.
Hi, my name is Kayla Olinger. I'm a member of the high school student council as the junior class vice president. I'm also a member of the varsity jazz band, Reach Club, and Honor Society. And I'm just here to let you know about what we've been up to. So as you know, about 2 weeks ago, we had our winter formal dance. It was a lot of fun. We had about 100 students attend. We raised around $250 to use for future events. We also had a pep assembly recognizing winter sports, and we got some student engagement through other activities and games. And then our rivalry basketball game against Crestwell was a big hit. We had a lot of people attend, it was standing room only. It was a great unifier for the student body. And then as finals have wrapped up, we're starting second semester. Our leadership class is forming into small groups to start our own personal projects to help better the school in some way. So some of these things include a weekly newsletter called the Hill Highlights to inform students about upcoming events and different resources they have in the school. As some students are also interested in school beautification, so they're going to create a gravel walking path between the metal shop and the ag room, so they're not slipping in the mud in the winter, as well as keeping up with the courtyard garden. And then another student wants to do a school-wide March Madness bracket with possible gifts or prizes at the end of the month, which should be a lot of fun. And then some of the concerns we've had, so the student body recently took a student climate survey. And then we would just like to know the results of that so we can help tailor our projects to better fit the needs of the students. We've noticed that in the past few years, we've taken quite a bit of these surveys, but we haven't really seen a lot of action being taken with the feedback that we've gotten. So we think it would help build a lot of trust between the administration and the student body if we knew that our voices were being heard and that our feedback was leading to some kind of action to help better the school in some way. Just because as a student council, we don't always hear correct feedback from our student body about what the biggest issues are. And I think the survey could be a really helpful resource to improve a lot of things. And then our bigger long-term vision is definitely Springfest right now. We've been working to help fundraise for it, including basketball concessions and the money we've gotten from our different school dances. We're hoping to make this a bigger event than it has been in years past with more activities. And we've been floating around the idea of doing like an after hours spring fling dance, possibly on a football field, weather permitting. Because we think in the springtime, there's not a lot of activities outside of prom for the underclassmen to participate in. So we think that could help unify the student body if we have a dance all together. And then obviously our vision is just continual effort for student involvement and school spirit. We're really trying to get students to be excited about coming to school every day and having them participate in more activities. So that's all I have for you. Are there any questions? Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight, Caitlin. All right, brings us to 5.3 classified appreciation resolution. So classified appreciation is going to be in March, through the 7th. And I assume I'm going to read this proclamation aloud.
Yeah, we just don't have a regular board meeting after this one, so I would be able to catch that March 7th.
Got it. Classified Employee Appreciation Week is celebrated every year during the first full weekend of March. 2025 will be observed March 3rd through 7th in Oregon. Whereas the education of youth is essential to the future of our community, state, country, and world. And whereas classified employees are the backbone of our public education system. And whereas classified employees work directly with students, educators, parents, volunteers, business partners, and community members. And whereas classified employees support the smooth operation of offices, the safety and maintenance of buildings and property, and the safe transportation, healthy nutrition, and direct instruction of students. And whereas our community depends upon the trusts classified employees to serve students. And whereas classified employees with their diverse talents and true dedication nurture students throughout their school year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pleasant Hill District's Board of Directors proclaims March 3rd through 7th, 2025 to be Classified Employee Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the Pleasant Hill School District Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join in this observance, recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals.
One plus one before you retreat.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous. So action items, 6.1. Through January 13th, 2025 board meeting minutes. Do we have any concerns with those?
January 13th, 2025 board meeting minutes.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's unanimously. 6.2 personnel action.
So tonight you've got licensed personnel action. You're being asked to approve the licensed personnel actions outlined in the exhibit 2425.174. The board of directors would like to discuss any of these recommendations in executive session in accordance with ORS 192660, section 2F. Exempt public records, the employees should be identified by the number withdrawn, pending further instruction from the board. Does tonight's recommend that you approve the personnel actions reflected in this resolution and any addendum presented along with it. So the categories tonight include temporary contract resignation and a temporary contract hire. The resignation, the hire is essentially replacing the resignation.
Questions or concerns on your motions? Seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's unanimously. 6.3, accept cohort projection plan.
So to refer to our budget and staffing in the buildings, this total projection is bringing forward the 25-26 school year based off our student enrollment. There's a couple of attachments here. The 25-26 cohort projections is the next page. Were developed by examining the district student enrollment as of December 31st, 2024. This is a little bit different than this year that I brought you in the past. In the past couple of years, I brought you the January numbers. But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper this year. You'll see this in the exhibit 2425.76. You really see the difference between the incoming students on transfers and the students that are going out. For the projections for this year, though, high school grades 9 to 12, our intent is to remain still below the 350 students in order to maintain our current funding level for the small high school grant. We're projecting a high school cohort of 305 students. In grade 12, we can have it close to transfers. We're also projecting at the middle school 248 students and recommend an allowance of interdistrict transfers to not exceed the 25-26 target of 85 students per grade level. And a projected 403 students in grades K through 5 with an allowance of interdistrict transfer students in grades 1 through 5 not to exceed the target of 75 students per grade level and not to exceed the target of 70 students for kindergarten. And that goes to the page directly following that, that's broken down into essentially 4 sections, with the top section being high school, and the section being grade 6 through 8 and K through 5, and then finally is the summary of those. So what you're seeing is the first column, enrollment 23, 12 to 31, 24. All of that is our I should say 20, yes, that all that is our 2023-24. So it's this year's students. If you go over to the target, those are obviously the numbers that I just gave you that we'd like to see 85 per class at the high school, 85 per class at the middle school, and 75 per class at the elementary, with 70 at the kindergarten. The next one over there is the numbers that have been rolled up. So for instance, if you look at the seniors under the projected core 25-26, that's 75, that is the 11th grade class rolled up. So on and so forth, all the way down. And then the other projected numbers underneath there, and then you've got the allowance of what we think we should take for the grade level on the right hand side. And helping with the allowance this year, if you go to the exhibit 2425.176. What I want as looked at is the last few years of starting in 2023. By grade level, the amount of approvals that we had for interdistrict transfers and then the amount of releases. So students that are both students that were released to go to another school district, and then calculate the difference. So you can see in the 2023 school year, we had 51 approvals, 41 releases, for a net difference of 10. In 23-24, 78 approvals, 28 releases, and a difference of 50. And then this school year, 70 approvals, 29 releases, and a difference of 41.
Are the releases, are those boundary waivers only, or is that include?
It would be just without reviews. Yeah. Yeah. Not for the homeschool, right? No, not for the homeschool.
Are all the target numbers are all the same as they have been, and you change it?
No, they've got the limits that we've generally held on to in the past, yeah, with the difference being. Elementary specifically at 75 per grade level, the 78 kindergarten, and the 70. The 85s at the secondary level are the ones. Should graduating classes close to 90. So we get some of those high school classes that do get up there. Little bit of a situation, though, just in the scheduling and staffing.
Sure. It's still 3 teachers per grade in elementary.
Yeah. So this would be, that'd be one of the things that the elementary's got to take a look at this year is we intend to have retirements and with enrollment going down. Students is to ask them, they will get their staffing and how they arrange their staffing. Yes, so I intend to have a teacher less taking the role next year in the elementary school. Sticking with the, well, ideally it's going to be 3 per level. That doing that.
Teacher role with losing teacher,
With losing teacher.
student extra teacher roles.
Classified as extra.
About 3 per level.
There's ways in order to reestablish the staffing at the building. I don't give them a chance to work with their staff on what that looks like. Yeah. With the idea that I talked to Sabrina about, what I've learned is the priority of the board is to keep the class levels as low as possible.
Grades stay close to transfers.
Well, great. Our history with 12th grade students is they will generally come in circumstantially for different reasons. Oftentimes credit efficient already, and we can't do enough with it in 1 year to get them across the credit line. So it's a straight line system. Yeah. We can override, but.
Recommendation consideration that schedule, I guess. If someone transfers in, they're in for the rest of their school experience. They don't have to, they're not in every year.
Correct.
They don't apply.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, they, there are two qualifying factors to stay in, and that is meeting our attendance requirements.
What was the second thing?
10.
Other questions or concerns on their motions? Second. Moved and seconded, any further discussions? All those in favor say aye. 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 That's unanimous. 6.4, approve lunar profile.
So we've got an exhibit 24-25 on 7/8. It's got 3 draft lunar profiles that we've been working on. Just as a reminder in the background, so we, the consulting with the lunar profile teams began in August of 2024. Since that initial consultation, we've had 5 meetings. We developed the 3 draft lunar profiles. There was 2 task force meetings, a 15 meeting, a student leadership team meeting, and then we had parent meeting center. Following the draft development, staff at both buildings were engaged for feedback and preference. Additionally, the parent committee was engaged electronically through the forum for feedback. And then that received 9 responses. The following summary outlines overall alignment for student needs and future success, as well as specific suggestions for improvement. Feedback that we got from the community to their, the feedback form was majority of the respondents expressed strong support for the learner profile, highlighting its clarity and communicating student goals and objectives. Stakeholders affirmed the profile captures essential qualities for lifelong success and aligns with district values. And preferences varied slightly between drafts, with some favoring draft 3 for its clarity, others draft 1 for its focus and character mindset, and draft 2 for its balanced approach. Additional feedback that came in just this last week, did not get a lot of additional feedback on the middle high school, elementary. It was a small number as far as the feedback, but in the favor of draft 3, draft 2, draft 1. As you can see, I'm looking at them, so with draft 1, I think the highlight of the differences is really that the middle order profile. Draft 1, our students show the ability to, that draft 2, it just is our students, and then the elements. And draft 3, our students excel at, and then the well, for the most part, in the boxes are the same. Looking for communication, it's not what I've heard. I think it was draft 3 overall.
Are we limited to 1 of the 3, or can we edit 1 of the ones we like? Guessing 1 of the 3.
I would say there's always room to go back to the editing board and edit. Yeah. Question would be, would we want to take the credits and then go back out to the state?
Well, my only comment was, I like draft 1, but I would include communicate effectively rather than just communicate.
That's similar to what we did. I mean, that's a small change.
Yeah, so close to what I see.
Yeah, but it's also got to draft 2, communicate effectively. Let's say got the 1 that replaced communicate effectively. Yeah, they're really small differences between the. And that's probably why people are asking to get a news together. Well, if I would actually put a number 2, like which one was the favorite out of the limited response, it was here's draft 3.
Was what, 3?
Draft 3, yeah.
Yeah, I do like track one the best, and, one of the things that the folks who were taking us through the process of putting this together, that little, line under learner profile, one says show the ability to, one says our students, and the last one says excel at. There was actually a discussion about what to write there, because, they brought up the fact that if it's like our students and the Excel, if a parent of a kid, they don't see that their child could do that, they could be, alienated is the right word, but feel like these are standards my kid's never going to be able to achieve for whatever reason. And then, so I think show the ability to, like, you're not gonna be perfect at it, but we can get some, we can get a little bit, everybody's gonna hit these 3 boxes at a different level, and, that the gal saying that is not something I ever would have considered, but I did like that thought.
Assume this is intending to be aspirational, not descriptive.
It will become more descriptive in our next,
What I
section.
mean is, I picked up on exactly what you're talking about, and I would describe showing the ability to be aspirational rather than descriptive of every student.
Yeah.
And I like that as well.
It's- Well, there's the work to be done in fleshing out the kind of what of the profile and how the profile. I think it's very valuable for students and counselors to build goals around. Absolutely.
The purpose of the whole thing is that, yes, we're putting these kids out in society and they've met Oregon graduation requirements and all of that. And along the way, we've given you these life skills through what we're about to determine how we're bringing that to the classroom, but so if they're focused on a skill that you start learning here, and
Votes for the first, or draft one. Yeah, I like the first to get draft with the edit. It's just having to communicate effectively. Yeah, we got to read through these.
Jen, that makes the most sense to me.
Oh. Okay. I will move to accept draft 1 of the one edit, adding the word effectively to communicate. Communicate effectively.
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. That is unanimous.
Add to that, our next meeting is on Wednesday, the 12th. And actually, part of the feedback, so when we took this to student leadership, originally to start some of this work, they asked that we come back, and so our first sorry, the second half. Our first half will be our original task force meeting to go back over and discuss next steps, and then the next half of that meeting from 11 to 12 is going to be engaging back with the leadership class. And then we'll start to go through the process. I'm starting to flesh out some of the one.
Board discussion, 7.1, policy review.
It's like that will probably be done with policies for the year. This is an easy one. So you got two policies for discussion. We've got to read before we come to the first reading. They're essentially the same policy. The GBNAA is the personnel side and JHF is the student side. If you start with GBNAA, there's two changes and they're both highlighted there on the first page. So the first one is as students. And this is the suspected sexual conduct of students and reporting requirements. So it's the change in definition of student for this personnel policy. So for this one here, student conduct may only be sexual conduct if the student is also an employee, contractor, agent, or volunteer. It's looking at as them as the personnel side. And the change for the 1 calendar year. So this has gone, reiterations of this essentially in the past, long time ago. A student is 18-year-olds and graduates, essentially the next day they can have a relationship with a school employee. That then changed not so long ago, but it was the current policy was either 60 or 90 days. I think it was 90 days throughout the summer before this relationship had happened. Legislation has gone back and made that 1 calendar year for that relationship that would happen policies. So that is the personnel side. On the student side, same exact. So student definition remains the same. And, policies.
Assuming that the inclusion of the change in definition for student. It's just trying to cover, they've graduated, since this is gonna be extended a year, they graduated, they're coming back to school. It's like the EA or somebody volunteering at the schools. I'm just trying to think of what other. Otherwise, seems kind of random if there would be added in there like that.
On the student side.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in both, right?
It is. The definition.
How they define student in this?
Definition remains the same. For both. And it has to go back up to, I think it's because the sentence for both of them are the same as far as it is students as it's included in all district employees. Contractors, agents, volunteers, and students are subject to this policy. And
I guess I was just confused how they would still be considered a student at that point. I'm not a lawyer.
so we'll bring this back for first reading, March meeting.
Point oh, reports and information, 8.10, school reports. Good evening, Brenda.
Hi,
Thank you for waiting patiently.
of course. This month, I didn't have our grade level data in yet when our reports were due, so I went back to our regular attenders and our average daily attendance. And I also included reasons for attendance this month because we have seen a dip in our attendance, and if you look at that very colorful pie chart, 58% of our attendance reasons this month were illness. We got hit hard with all sorts of things, strep, influenza A, anything you can imagine. So, just taking that into account this time of year, I'm still really working on giving out those attendance awards, wanting kids to be at school every day when they're healthy, so, but just noting that illness was a large factor in our attendance this month. Our character trait of the month for January, was honor, and students show honor by always doing the right thing and by being honest and fair. And this week we'll have our Billy Spirit assemblies to celebrate the kids that get their awards for being honorable Last Thursday, PTO had their first bingo night in our cafeteria and it was a packed house. Drew was there. It was wild. It was a good time. Lots of pizza, lots of prizes. Lots of learning about what to do next time, but we'll definitely be having some more. It was a great way to bring a lot of the community into the building and a great winter activity. We are halfway through the school year. It is crazy to think about that. And with that comes all of the planning for next year. We start thinking about that. So just what does that look like? And some of that has to do with this next point is that on January 24th, we had our overview from the people at Renaissance with our STAR assessment system. It was a very informative session. There were lots of questions and lots of interest. Our teachers asked really thoughtful questions. And we have a ton of interest in piloting the program this spring. So we're talking about what that looks like moving forward. And our upcoming events, we've got, this week is National School Counseling Week. So in our building, we're just celebrating Mrs. Black and all the hard work she does with all of our kids. We've got our Billy Spirit Assemblies on Wednesday and Thursday. Next week, we've got a PTO meeting in the evening and then President's Day. And then on February 19th, it is the 100th day of school. And in elementary school, that means we all dress up like we're 100 years old and it's really fun. So if you want to see some hilarity, come on in. That's it.
Point two, middle school report. Caleb?
Hey there. So back on January 17th, we had a very successful winter dance. Thank you to Miss Mock and Miss Olson and student council and all the parent volunteers who helped out with that. Mr. Pritikin was our DJ for the event. Looking at our regular attenders by grade level, we're looking at our students that are attending 90% or better. Our sixth grade is down 3% to 73%. Seventh grade is down 4% to 73%, and eighth grade is down 3% as well. I just looked ours up, 49% of our doing this. Then you look, you can see our average daily attendance. So it's school-wide 6.8, the percentage of students that are at school every day year to date is down just a little bit to 92.56. Then we'll jump into, in front of you, you have the first semester academic report. So for semester one final grades, we had 29, well, in class, Chris will talk about eighth graders in his, but I'll talk about 6th and 7th graders in mine. So for semester one final grades, we had 29 sixth graders and 7 7th graders failing at least one class, total of 58 Fs. 8 sixth graders with a total of 16 Fs and 21 7th graders with a total of 42 Fs. When we look at the changes here in the next paragraph, what we're looking at is a change juxtaposed to the quarter one progress data that I presented at the December 2nd board meeting. So since then, as we look at our actual final grades, not just the progress report grades, our total Fs are up 18%. With sixth grade, Fs are up 32%, while the number of students failing one or more class doubled from 4 to 8 from the first quarter to the end of the semester. In 7th grade, Fs are up 12%, number of 7th graders failing one or more class is up to 3 students. Below that, we're looking at our universal screening for DIBELS from fall to winter. So our fall took place in September, and then we just finished our January universal screening. So you're looking at composite measures here. So you're looking at a combined of a student's oral reading fluency as well as their maze or comprehension. So as we look at the differentials between our fall and winter, 6th grade students having negligible risk decreased by 5%, students with minimal risk increased 3%, students needing students needing strategic support decreased by 4%, students needing intensive support in the 6th grade increased by 6%. For our 7th grade students having negligible risk decreased by 1%, students with minimal risk increased by 3%, students needing strategic support decreased by 12%, Students needing intensive support increased by 16%. For the 8th grade, students having negligible risk decreased by 22%, students with minimal risk increased 32%, students needing strategic support increased by 12%, and students needing intensive support increased by 3%. Questions?
That you know about the increased staff, first quarter, or first part of the semester today.
Final assessment, another big one at the end. There are some big end of semester unit tests.
Is there things you guys are working on to help students with that, so type of thing doesn't happen next semester?
Yes. There are many things that we're doing to try to fix that.
Need background here staff on the Renaissance.
Yeah, we have some teachers that are interested in piloting as well. We have teachers that are interested also in seeing neighboring districts that are also engaged in the work as well. Yes, it's very exciting.
Sure.
A little bit more, we're still implementing those MTSS processes as well, and with students and getting supports with them. The other big piece right now is a big lift that we would like schedule is the professional development on the TNT project. It's like the literacy, that's also looking at the instruction of the option. But also we look back and see like last year's data and see what effect actually see student change.
Three of high school report. You and Chris?
Good evening. Are you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
To answer Caitlin's question, she talked about the climate survey. This climate survey is done, the data has been analyzed. In fact, I was thinking about printing it up and sharing it, but I thought I might want to run it past Superintendent Chris before I share it out everybody else. So I have the data to kind of share it and take a look at it. Pretty informative all the way across. I think it's pretty great. And then I'll be coming in and sharing that same data with the mass. So I got it all broken down by each of the topics, and it was good. It was pretty good. I'm excited to share it, but probably the next week. I'll share it with you guys. With the things that are kind of going on, I shared this out. Angela wanted me to kind of throw that on your calendar. But one of the things that we had an opportunity to do is Jim, Caleb, and myself all were able to see the state FFA officer. They kind of came in and spent a day with our FFA program in the classes and running through some exercises with the students. Then we had a debrief at the end of the day. That was very informational, pretty impressive about these two young gentlemen. They're almost like on sabbatical, what they call a gap year. They're a gap year. They're graduating from high school, but they're kind of taking care of this whole year. FFA, they just toured. They go to every school that has an FFA program in the state of Oregon that kind of broke them up into teams. So these two guys just cruise around and visit and kind of share their experiences and kind of recruit kids into the FFA state offices. But that was really fun. She's doing some pretty cool things. That classroom has a kitchen in it, a functioning kitchen. So 58 of her students receive their competitors card first semester, so they can start actually utilizing the kitchen inside of there, which is good. And then so the ag is going well. Brenda kind of brought it up. It is the counselors appreciation week. So Kyle and Katie with myself have got a couple things put together to share with our counselors and appreciate everything they do. We have Thursday at the high school, Angela with the middle school, and we also have Paul Griffith, who's our student success coordinator, who also has a counseling. So we'll kind of include him in that. That's pretty exciting as well. Attendance is down. If you take a look across our overall regular attenders is 65%. The freshmen have kind of remained the same, 10th graders have remained the same, but our 11th and 12th graders are, as far as that regular attenders, that's 90% or more. Yeah, so that's definitely something that we are gonna try to focus on and see what's going on with that. Take a look at the average daily attendance, it's gone down, starting the year at 94, now we're sitting at 87, for the average daily attendance. That's coming in that way, so, we too are about 51% of our after illness related or going to appointments, so that's something going around. That way. I kind of put some stuff together with our grades, take a look at the handout that I gave you that way. We improved in every area that we were tracking, you know, the number of students with one or more Fs, that number went down from 50 to 37. For the second 9 weeks of the end of the semester, the total Fs went from 3 to 67. The students with 2 or more Fs, which in a typical semester would kind of put you behind as far as being on track for graduation. That was something that cumulatively went from 21 to 17. So obviously the most important class are the seniors. We have 5 seniors right now that are just kind of writing that, am I going to graduate or am I not going to graduate? We predict 2 will be okay with very limited intervention, that we get 2 across there that they can do it. 3 are going to be a real challenge. 1, it's a divine intervention. But I think we can get the other 2, hopefully with a couple of plans, we can kind of get the 2 up. So, but we're working on all 3. We're not giving up on any of those, but 5 seniors total. Hopefully we get all of those kids across this stage. And then the kind of the I guess the one thing that's kind of neat, if you take a look at the honor roll, we have 152 out of 297 kids that have 3.5 or better. So 51% of our kids have a 3.5 or better. You can break it down between the classes, 9th grade, 21, 10, 7, for 4 point GPA for 21 freshmen, 17 sophomores, 27 juniors, 22 seniors have a 4.0 GPA. The 3.5 or better, 36 freshmen, 33 sophomores, 43 juniors, and 40 seniors. So that was good as far as that. It was kind of brought up earlier that we did bring on a new employee at the semester, which is always kind of tenuous, you know, to get that way. So it's like a full teacher this 8th grade language or social studies class it had this year. So so we're putting some supports in place to make her as successful as possible. Caleb's doing a bang up job trying to get her all the stuff that she needs to be successful in the classroom, as well as other supports that are in place. And that's about it.
Everything's good. I love to see the 51% at 3.5 better than GPA. What's the technical definition or calculation for the regular attenders again?
So a regular attender is a person who attends 90% or better. So basically,
It's like the whole semester or like a week or?
well, it's just 90% attendance. So basically, you can miss 1 day every 2 weeks.
Oh,
we make it a regular attendance. So
it's like a rolling.
yeah, it kind of rolls. It kind of goes with it. You know, it's cumulative throughout the year. So you know, you can if you get something where you're out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that could probably make you not a regular attendant for your whole. For your whole year, you can't make those.
So it just keeps adding up just whole year, essentially a year. Okay.
Yeah, so if there's 178 student contact days, you can miss 17.
Gotcha.
If you're regular.
The regular attender is what we see with our state data.
Yeah.
And the state shuts that off. Gosh.
Oh, the last. Okay.
So there's much room for error there.
And we don't get the data until October, November.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Travis. You're welcome. All right, 9.0 superintendent communication, 1.1 board representation for school district, not always the good part.
Bargaining. So we've got first bargaining meeting set with OSCA on February 19th, from 4 to 6. And it'll be essentially every other Wednesday, 4 to 6. So checking in to see if there's anyone from the school board that wanted to represent the board in that.
That's the first time I've watched it. Does one of us have to do it? Do we have to?
We do not know. I think it's
It's
been,
not like
yeah, I don't know.
statutory.
No, I don't know if it's, I know with the licensed staff, what I've learned is that there's generally a board member or two that's, assist with that. I don't know if it's been the first time with the, last way. Or,
Memory is correct, last time, we negotiated, with them that we had 2 board members participate in those deliberations.
This is possibly.
yeah,
I think it was 3 years ago. Yeah. In Rhode Island.
What time did you play? 4 to 6. Say is this, is I just wanted to throw out there to see if it was interest, if we can move somebody tonight, great, if not, if you have some interest, just send me a message.
During my time on the board, it's been a priority of past boards to have at least one board member participate, not necessarily to engage in any of the actual negotiations, but mostly to observe. And I think, one was to demonstrate to the staff that that we want to be involved. That it's meaningful to us, and also give us an opportunity to just look at additional offer data points right there again. Performance evaluations on every year. And I think that superintendent, staff relations is a big piece of that, so opportunity to observe them. And also opportunity for forward to hear directly from staff that we don't often get.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I definitely don't feel equipped to be effective in that role. But I don't know how you could also don't know how you become effective without being in that room.
Yeah, it's almost strictly, it's pretty much strictly, for observation purposes, but it also is helpful to report back to the rest of the board, because there are times where Jim will do updates to the entire board, we'll recess into the executive session, and we'll get a general update, but it's really nice that at that time to have a board member or two who's actually been there to provide some additional details. And it actually came in handy during the first negotiation I was on the board for, because there ended up being some allegations of impropriety by this on behalf of the school board, some allegations by the from the union, and having we were part of all those negotiations, we were able to have firsthand knowledge of what actually occurred and be able to respond directly to those concerns. So it's the joys of trying to negotiate a contract remotely on Zoom, at least. I'll never forget that. So I'd like to offer it up to board members who haven't sat through the negotiations yet to volunteer first.
How important is it that they're every meeting, all meeting? If we're ready with that.
Basketball team practice. Until first.
I'd be happy to do it.
If we know ahead of time, that way we can just announce it to the side, hey, such and such gonna be here, but they're gonna be late, or, you know, they're not gonna be here tonight.
And you said it starts the 19th,
Yes,
and then it's every Wednesday,
every other Wednesday.
every other Wednesday, for however long it takes.
It will be met with license, we meet 4 times.
It sounds about right.
Yeah,
It wasn't very many, but they were long sessions.
I would guess 3 or 4, so we've already met.
Some of them were.
Yeah. I'll have more of this discussed, in our executive session tonight.
So count me in. Then you send a reminder or some sort of that.
Um. And then, well, in advance. Because something.
Yeah.
All right. Board communication, 10.1 committee or community news announcements. It was scheduled to, I guess we can update that for the next thing. Is there anything else in there before we move on to 10.2? Sorry.
Man, what it's called?
I don't know what it
Legislative
stands for.
roach.
Yes,
Legislative showcase.
it's the Oregon ACTE Legislative Showcase.
Super interesting. Let's see what the kids are doing. Cooperating with the nonprofit and the county. Very interesting.
This was specific to the Hope Factory. So we have 4 kids that are going this year on the Hope Factory on Garfield, Monday through Friday, Thursday, during the morning. Rusty actually got to see some, first time they went out and visited, they had just finished the actual space, and it got certified as a construction site. So it's got a nice big overhead hips. They're putting together full-size, single-wide this point in time. And so this time, Rusty actually got to see them actually in the process. And they had 4 finished models. They'd already just put 1 in place that day. It was delivered, and they're doing 1 home a day, and looking to ramp that up and have the 2 homes a day, so 14 total. Yeah, it's quite impressive seeing those out there.
Yeah.
Industry professionals that go through all of their training, motion training, and they, with all those trainings and certifications, they have points. So when they go out and they actually go to a job site, because of the points there, get higher up on the list as far as the internship. Just start their careers in construction, which is that way.
There's many kids who wanted to from here ago, or is there?
We've been limiting it to 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we still pay, there's some tuition costs, and then they can also get their writing and math credits. And then also we pay for the transportation costs. That was part of our discussion, just I think slightly at the last board meeting regarding our ESD, the core services model. So we restructured what that looks like with the 16 school districts. So that collectively, everyone's going to get some money, there won't be any of the tuition costs next year for the students. Let's say there won't be any, and it would be absorbed within our ESD core services model, and we'll still have the cost of transportation. And then, as part of this is also Zoning Career Academy is this next September, we begin the emergency services piece of this as well. So fortunately, we've done, I think, a really good job in connecting with Pleasant Hill fire. And so we've got local experts here that can do in-class training with the teacher. There's some more training with our local fire. And then they're going to go through additional training and certification with the teaching suite for fire. So that's in September.
All right, 10.2 board engagement activities calendar. We're scheduled to attend the Education Foundation meeting on the 15th, but it looks like it would look like it can't it's here.
So I've asked Kimberly actually to start to look ahead and confirm those things, and if they confirm with you guys based on this.
We canceled that night.
That night. Anyway, so
I was here on time.
coming up in February, right now we've got our official debate meeting going on, the student center, we've got a PTO meeting on the 11th. Steve looks like he's like the Booster Club on the 12th. Jan's got Valentine's concert on the 13th, Education Foundation again on the 19th. The CTE night on the 19th. And then February 22nd is our education gala. There's actually a sign earlier, if you want some more information about that. That's at the Alumni Center. Ticket pricing is in there as well.
Yeah, business, or we adjourn to executive session. All right, we'll adjourn regular session. And yeah, thanks everyone.